Hello everyone, welcome to Gardening for Better Health. This is Henry B. 723 coming to you today from my kitchen. My kitchen doubles as my indoor garden. Today I wanted to share with you something that I thought about recently, and I said, well, a lot of times people will start planting directly in the ground or they will buy starts. So sometimes people do not get to see what the plants look like when they first start to germinate. If you buy starts from the store, they've already gotten past the germination stage and you never get to see what they actually look like. So starting from seed has that advantage because you get a chance to see what the plants look like the minute they peek through the soil. And I wanted to share that with you. And if it's something that you've never seen before, you don't know about, it might be very interesting to you. And if you do know about it, it's always fun to see what the seeds look like when they first peek above the surface. So I wanted to share that with you. I have planted 3 different types of squash. I planted them a week ago and I checked on them today and they have made great progress. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I planted honey nut squash in here. I planted yellow scallop squash. And I also planted golden summer crookneck squash. And they did all germinate. And I wanted to show you what they look like inside these containers. I will start with, this is a good example. This is the yellow scallop squash. The scallop squash is also known as patty pan squash. And this is what it looks like in the container. If you look in here, you can see it pretty well. This is how it looks when it just begins peeking up through the soil, right there. And it's weird shaped. They all look a little bit different when they first start to peek out. And so there are 3 in there. Here's the second one here. If I can point to it with this pencil, second one there. And then this one made it all the way up through the soil. The development on this one is still progressing well. This one, when it first came up, it had a seed attached to it and the seed came off. But if you look at it closely, you can see that this is going to open. There's a little flap there and there's space in between where it's going to open up. I'll show you another one that's at a different stage. And as you can see, get real close there. This is the seed still attached right here. If you can see that one. The seed is still attached. It poked through the soil. And the seed is still there because it's still getting nourishment from the contents inside the seed. I never take the seed off. See, the seed is here and that's even dirt still on it from where it poked through. I leave the seeds on there. As a matter of fact, if we look inside, we can actually see the seed that fell off right there. That's the seed shell that fell off of one of these squash. And so I always let it fall off on its own because the plant is still using some of that energy from the seed up until the point that it actually falls off. So I don't disturb it. I let it stay there as long as it wants to. And when it's done, the seed casing will fall off. I'll show you another example These ones still have the seed casing on them that has not fallen off yet. So I will let it do its thing. Now the honey nuts are doing well too. The honey nuts have discarded their seed shells and they have opened up in the center and they are off to the races. So that's what it looks like after the seed shell comes off and they don't need it anymore. And as you can see, this one is really tall. Way above the other ones in that container. Now I will show you the golden summer crookneck squash that I have. And as you can see, that one just poked above and it's got its little head poking out there. And it almost looks like a little cartoon character or something with the mouth open on it. If you can see that. But it's just poked above and it's about to open up to look like this one. Here's another golden one. It poked up, it got to be real tall. It still got the dirt on top from where it poked through. And it's still got the seed casing on there. So this is what they look like when they first germinate and poke through the soil. When you go to get them in the stores, they've passed this stage already. Now, if you look here, here's one about to unfurl right there. It's just poking up. So when you get to the store and you buy the starts, you don't get to see this part. You don't get to see that they've poked up. And when they come up, sometimes they still have the soil stuck to the top of them for a while. And they still have the seed attached to the top of them for a while. So that's one of the benefits of growing your own seeds. You get to see what they look like when they pop through. And it's a very interesting process because we don't oftentimes, when we're in the store shopping for groceries, we don't oftentimes think about, well, what did the seed look like when it first started to pop through the soil? And it's a part of the growing process of our food that we often miss. So I wanted to share that with you today. If you have any questions, let me know. I want to remind you too that when you buy seeds, you save a lot of money. Okay, this is the honey nut squash packet, and for this packet I paid $4. There are 14 seeds in here. It says minimum of 20 that you will get in a packet like this. So if I were to plant them all and get 20 plants, do you have any idea how much squash that is? One plant, and they get to be huge plants. One plant will generally give me about 10 to 15 different squash on it. So that 10 or 15 squash that's on one plant, and I've got about 20 seeds in here, 20 plants, that's a lot of squash. And I've saved a lot of money because if you buy them individually, say at the grocery store, you're gonna pay, $2.50, $3. Depending on where you go, you could pay $4 each for one squash. think of how much money you can save if you have 20 seeds with all those squash growing on it to give you food, to feed you and your family. So I love growing from seeds. If something happens and my seed harvest doesn't work out, I will go to the store and get some starts and grow them myself. But I prefer to go the cheapest route to do the seeds. So that's a great investment. I paid, like I said, it was actually $4 for this one pack. And I can get so many squash from this one pack. The same thing with the patty pan squash. That's very inexpensive to grow. And the crookneck squash, this packet has 20 seeds in it, and I paid $3 for this pack. So I like saving money anyway and every way I can. So this is Henry B 723. I hope you liked seeing what the plants look like when they first pop up through the soil and start to grow, because that's a part that you miss when you buy plants and starts from the store. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you learned something, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.